Yes.
Yes.
No.
Behind closed doors. Have you ever watched any?
Wait, are we using the same analogy? If
Have
we're
you
talking
ever-
about literal royalty, the queen is subservient to the king.
Do you know how much influence women have
How would that be
behind
relevant
closed
to
doors?
your analogy?
Well, with yours, like the
Okay, that
king
was
bows
coherent.
down to the woman as well. There, it goes both ways. Maybe not in front of his people, but he does behind closed doors.
No, the king does not bow down to the queen.
In your world.
No, I'm actually talking about literal, like, royalty.
But like
I'm,
they have influence in other ways.
well, yeah, there's no dispute that the queen would have influence, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the specific dynamic between the king and the queen. In this instance, no, the king is not, what's the right word? Subservient, obedient, I don't know.
Submitting?
Not quite submitting, but yeah, the king is the head honcho.
I think that you're viewing the reverence as being one directional. So in terms of like people have to bow to the queen has to bow to the king, and king doesn't have to bow to anyone below him. I think that there is and by that metric, then like queen and common person would be essentially in the same category of reverence owed by the king. Does that make sense? Like they,
No.
Because I feel like it's like ultimately the king is
It
at
would
the
be
top, but like-
peasants, jester,
oh, okay, my bad.
queen, king. But you were saying how the toilet seat thing, it's such a small thing. Well, if it's such a small thing, why can't I reverse this on you and say if it's such a small thing, it shouldn't matter?
Because you were the last person to use the toilet, so put the seat down after you're done.
There
And
is
the
no
little
logic.
things.
I don't understand the actual logic of the man should put the toilet seat down for the woman.
Because you
I don't-
care.
Logically, it doesn't make sense.
Because you care.
What's the
But
logic
she
of
should
a,
care to not force me to have another encumbrance on my time. Oh, I've got to think about, I need to be considerate of the toilet seat.
It's like
No.
other things. Like
What's going on? This is your Silver Stranger 01. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Strangers gather as the world is on the verge of shatter. Let's get into it. As you just saw, they just debated about kings and queens and whether or not the king has to listen to the queen. Let's have a laugh. Alright. Let's get back into it.
send a text if you're busy and can't reply. Be like, hey babe, I'm a little busy right now.
I think that's generally okay unless you're like really busy and in the middle of something. But
this shows that you
I think
care.
that's but that's a bit different. I think that's different than what we're talking about with the toilet seat. The toilet seat is this completely arbitrary thing. Ultimately, the thing that logically makes the most sense is whatever the state of the bathroom is, however it is, you transform that state into the state that you want it to be in. So if I go into the bathroom and the toilet seat is down, I put it up. If the toilet seat is up for you, you put it down. That just makes the most sense.
I feel like we're getting hung up on the toilet seat thing when it's a bigger
You
picture.
brought it back up.
It's a bigger picture.
What's the bigger picture? Tell me the bigger picture.
Chivalry is dead.
By putting
And
that in
women
the
killed
toilet.
it. And
Things like
women
that.
killed it.
The men I meet are
Look,
very chivalrous.
here's my thoughts on the chivalry thing. Chivalry is for those who are deserving of it. Now, I'm not saying that certain people should be mistreated or abused or treated poorly, but chivalry is a step beyond. Like would you agree that you can be polite to somebody but not observe chivalry? Like a man could be nice to you but not be chivalrous. Like he's not insulting you, he's not calling you names, he's not being abusive, he's talking to you in a respectful tone, but he's not being actively chivalrous. Would you agree he's still being nice to you, absent chivalry?
Yes.
Okay. So now I guess my position on this chivalry thing. Only some women are deserving of it. So in order to demand well, here's the thing. I think even completely strumpet, modern, promiscuous women, well, not even promiscuous, that's not related. Well, it's sort of related. You can still get chivalry because men know it's most effective. It's the meta, most effective tactics available if any of you play video games. Now, the meta in dating, regardless of how non-traditional the woman is, women still enjoy traditional treatment. Now, from a bird's eye view, that's fucking bullshit. But you still, even completely feminist, liberal, progressive women, a lot of them still insist on men holding up their end of the deal when it comes to traditional gender roles. My position is, in terms of what's bird's eye view, looking down at the chessboard, what's fair, what makes sense, men should not be chivalrous to a woman unless she's a lady. Now, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to attack you guys, but the reality is, if you're a sex worker, you're not a lady. In the dynamic, when I say that, obviously you're female. When I say you're not a lady in the fair exchange of he's a gentleman, you're a lady. So while I understand, like, look, we got some OnlyFans girls here, you know, I'm sure you guys get asked out by men. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to pay for the date and open the car door and be a fucking simp and do all this shit. What I'm talking about is something different. I understand you might get it and you enjoy it. I don't think you should. I think it's unfair to expect it given your own position. So, by virtue of you guys being sex workers, I don't think you should expect or you deserve chivalry.
So because we're sex workers, we deserve less.
If you could frame it that way, I suppose. But my framing would simply be, if you are like men, you need to meet this traditional standard. It would occur to me that it'd be fair that you as the woman, and look, I think being traditional is it's not a binary. I think it's a scale, you know? So I think you don't need to be like 100% perfectly trad. Otherwise, no, it's completely out the window. But I think it needs to be there needs to be an approximation of equality in the trad trade-off. In today, 2026, you got women who are liberal, progressive, modern, feminist, boss babe, sex worker, promiscuous women. And that's a modern standard for yourself. However, you basically want men to be 1950s bachelors and adhere to, okay, he's got to protect me, he's got to be willing to provide, he's got to pay for dates, he's got to be chivalrous, he's got to do all these things. What do men get?
You want women to be 1950s housewives doing.
But this is a critique of your position. So as the sex worker, I don't believe that you're holding up your end of the traditional deal. And so, look, I understand you probably still want it. You can probably still get it because, again, meta, most effective tactics available. So I think I can make arguments for why I think it's like kind of bullshit to pay for the first date. But I advise men to do it regardless of how unfair or fair, whatever it is, because it's the most effective tactic available. Now, and like it's either, for some women, oh, okay, you want to go 50-50, it's going to be neutral or negative. Pay for the date, it's neutral or positive. Most effective tactic available. But if we're actually having an investigatory conversation about these gender dynamics between men and women, yeah, it's a fucking raw deal for a man to be chivalrous, do all these things, for a woman who's a fucking, it depends what factor it is, but who's a sex worker. I'm not saying that to be mean or whatever, I just think it's the truth.
It is. I 100% agree, but that's also why I don't date. I choose not to because I don't.
Good for you.
I honestly don't think that a man deserves that in a relationship. Like, genuinely. And that's just my opinion. Yeah, and that's just my opinion.
Well,
Like,
look,
if you're
some-
going
yeah.
and dating, like, you shouldn't be doing porn.
Do you have
I
a response
disagree. Yeah.
to
I mean, I guess.
what I said?
Yeah, obviously, like you can feel that way. I disagree. I don't think just because of my job, I shouldn't be treated with respect, especially in my case where.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, not respect.
So
Chivalry.
chivalry, yeah, because I'm not advocating that because a woman does sex work or she's a feminist or a liberal, that she should be treated poorly or disrespected or abused in
But
a
no
relationship.
chivalry.
But I don't think you deserve chivalry.
I think at least in my case, because I guess I can only give myself as an example, I feel like chivalry is the least I deserve, especially if I am planning for my future husband to provide literally everything.
Wait,
I
you
have
just
the
said
house.
you want to be the one who works and you want the guy to stay at home.
Exactly, so
So
he
how
can
is he gonna
do the
provide?
little things,
What?
like put the toilet seat down, treat me like a lady.
Chivalry doesn't really take much work.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it
Well,
doesn't.
It
It
depends what
shouldn't.
we're talking about, but it can. Do you want a guy to protect you?
She wants to be treated like a lady, regardless of how she acts. Hilarious. She deserves a slap in the face for that. You know, metaphorically, of course. But this is why podcasts like these exist. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. As always, stay dangerous, our silver strangers. Peace.
Why won't you die?
Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr.